So, let's kick things off with a bit of history. NATO came into being as a response to the looming threat from the Soviet Union, with a main goal of ensuring that member states could stand together in defense. And guess what? That goal is still super important for NATO's relevance even today. Now, over the years, European nations have leaned more and more on American military support. This has led to a drop in their own defense spending and capabilities. It definitely makes you wonder how capable they would be of defending themselves without the backing of the US. Speaking of defense, Russia's reactions to NATO's growth showcase the ongoing tensions between the two. Russia's fear of NATO expanding further has fueled some aggressive actions, which have definitely shaken up regional stability. On a pivotal note, NATO has evolved from just being a defensive alliance to actively supplying weapons and support to Ukraine. This shift is a significant milestone, as the conflict in Ukraine marks the largest military engagement we've seen in NATO's history. When it comes to finances, America covers a whopping 70% of NATO's defense budget. That's a lot. But this raises some eyebrows about how prepared European nations truly are. Many have cut back on military spending, which means they're heavily relying on US support.
Now, let's talk about command.
The differences in military command among European nations, compared to the unified US command structure, lead to some logistical hiccups for NATO. This division can really impact how effectively European military forces respond to threats. Looking ahead, the idea of forming a European army pops up, but this comes with its own set of challenges related to political agreements and structural reforms. It just goes to show how complex collective defense can be, requiring a good chunk of time and resources to pull off. Next up, America's military strategy heavily relies on NATO for global operations. If the US were to leave NATO, they'd lose access to crucial military bases, complicating their ability to tackle future conflicts. This really highlights how important international alliances are. Then there's the Arctic, which is becoming a big deal due to resources and new trade routes. The battle for control is heating up between superpowers, and America needs to step up its Arctic strategy, especially without NATO's backing against rising threats from Russia and China. To tackle military concerns and resource management effectively, a new Arctic Defense Pact is being proposed among Arctic nations. This could really ramp up collaboration between Canada, Norway, and Denmark. Now, let's not forget about China. Their growing investments in Europe, like through initiatives such as the Belt and Road, could shift European alliances away from the US. Relying on Chinese capital might really influence European security decisions down the line. Finally, if the US were to pull back from NATO, we could see a new world order emerging, potentially strengthening ties between China and Russia. This new alliance could pose a serious threat to US influence in numerous regions.